Hi, welcome to Sabbath School Daily, where we have been studying from this lesson right here, Psalms. This week we're studying from lesson number 5, which has the title, Singing the Lord's Song in a Strange Land, and today is Sunday's lesson, which has the title, The Days of Evil. Sunday's lesson revolves around two psalms that were written in the context of exile, Psalm 74 and Psalm 79, that share the psalmist's lament of the destruction of Jerusalem and the temple, a tragedy that struck at the core of their very sense of identity. But more than that, they see this event as a theological scandal. It isn't just a political or social disaster, but a very deep spiritual crisis because it allows the heathen nations to blaspheme God's name, to challenge his sovereignty, and question his covenant with Israel. So these psalms dive deep into the problem of evil, focusing on its theological implications. The destruction is seen as a direct consequence of Israel's sins, which have corrupted their covenantal relationship with God. This emphasizes the need of divine intervention, for atonement, for restoration. They are begging God to show up. The psalmists grapple with the tension between God's forbearance and his infinite wisdom and power. They struggle to understand why a benevolent and omnipotent God would allow his chosen people and sacred place to be desecrated by pagan nations, posing a significant challenge to their faith and their understanding of God's nature. Moreover, the biblical concept of God's inheritance, which Israel embodies as their core identity, is central to these psalms. This inheritance translates into God's divine election and covenant, and it suggests that despite current circumstances, God's promises will ultimately prevail. The psalmists reveal that one day all nations will become God's inheritance, serving him in a fulfillment of end-time prophecies. The defense of God's character emerges as a critical theme. The psalmists argue that if the evil actions of nations go unpunished, it would imply a loss of divine power. And so God's intervention is not only about Israel's salvation, but also the vindicating of his name and authority in the world. That's where it becomes real for you and for me, because the suggestion here is that our actions, especially our sins and moral failures, can have a significant impact on how the world perceives God. The psalmists warn us that the actions of those who profess faith in God can either uplift or damage the witness of that faith. Psalm 74 and 79 are a deep meditation on human sin, on divine justice, and the importance of upholding God's character in the face of evil. They teach us that while we struggle with the presence of evil in the world, our focus should also be on maintaining a faithful witness to God's unchanging character and his ultimate sovereignty over all events. In the book The Desire of Ages, page 671, we find the following statement. The honor of God, the honor of Christ, is involved in the perfection of the character of his people. And so everything that we've seen so far in today's lesson, it leads us to understand this very reality, that our life, the way that we act, it demonstrates our love for God, and it will also demonstrate how others will see this love for him, this dedication to him. We aren't saved by our works, friends, but our works are demonstrative of what God means in our life, of how serious we are in our relationship and commitment to him. So I hope you study your lesson today. There's a lot packed in here. There's certainly a lot more than what we talked about. So study your lesson, look at the Bible verses, think about what you're reading here, and I'm sure that that will bless you, not only you, but your interaction with other people around you. Please comment down below. I love hearing from you. I love hearing your questions, your comments, and also remember to like, to share, and to subscribe to our videos. We release one every day. It sure helps us out a lot to get the word out there, and I hope to see you again here tomorrow for another Sabbath School Daily.